Welcome to Shadow the Broker Chill Session 8. So, this is our first chill session after our 2 year or second anniversary. And so, we're moving into our third year of SotB. And with that, for some people who may not have seen the last few episodes, but we have moved officially over to Force and Destiny. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about that and actually, we're going to bounce around the agenda just a little bit, but one of the very first things I wanted to talk about is the whole force sensitivity thing, since this was one of the big restrictions in our first 2 years of SOTB, where I put a hard cap on the number of force sensitives, partly because of the just the nature of the timeline and how force sensitives are supposed to be really rare, all that good stuff. Another reason too is that with so many force sensitive characters, I wanted to make sure that the few that we had felt special because, it's supposed to be a rare thing. Another aspect of it is the force mechanic does add a new layer of complexity to the game, and it can be it can be challenging sometimes for the GM. So one of the things that we're going to do for Force and Destiny is that yes, the cap on force sensitives has been lifted. However, there will be some requirements though. And so, I guess just one requirement. So the requirement is if you play, you can make as many force sensitive characters that you want. However, you need to GM at least one session in a rotation for each character. And so what that means is the more people who play Force Sensitives, the more people will be GMing. And it's not just weekend sessions, we're talking about midweeks as well. It's just that with so many people playing Force Sensitive characters, strongly believe that each person needs to have some experience on the other side of the GM screen so that you can see what other GMs have to work with, and some of the compromises you have to make, some of the quick improvisation that you have to make, and some of the burden that the GMs take on when they're dealing with force powers, because force powers can do some pretty amazing things, and they're fun. I think they're really amazing for people who saw yesterday's mission. Gristle had an incredible showdown with the leaders of the scorekeeper. And actually, I was not planning on that leader of the scorekeeper, or the scorekeepers, heralds of the scorekeeper, to die. So I'm going to work with stuff, and there's a power vacuum, but that's totally okay. It was a great moment and an incredible use of force powers. But at the same time, we're going to have a lot of people throwing a lot of stuff into the mix. And so I really want people to step up and start GMing and seeing what it's like as a GM. So, like I said, it's going to be a little bit, it's not going to be so rigid in that as long as your name is on the roster as a GM for an upcoming mission, you should be set. If you're playing two characters, just GM a little bit more. And as I had mentioned, the more people who are actually GMing, the less you have to GM. Honestly, with the number of players that we have, I really don't anticipate anyone having to GM if they have a force sensitive character more than like once every 2 months, and that's nothing. So, any questions about that?
I don't have a question, but I have actually got a statement on that. GMing for the first time or the first couple of times, it is a little bit hard. It's out of your comfort zone. But all the ones who have GM'd are there, and they will have your back and they will help you through it
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
ask them.
And also too, I'll do a whole GM training session so that we can, I'll show you just roll 20 if you're not too familiar with it. We can go through OBS, so all that stuff. It may seem intimidating, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, because that's my only thing. Like, there's been a couple times that I've actually felt like I wouldn't mind maybe running like maybe pre-made or something, but I don't know anything about Hangouts, Roll20, OBS, and I need a course on that essentially,
Yeah, so
and I'd be
definitely.
okay for doing that.
All right, cool. So, anyone else have any questions or statements about that before I move on?
Um, I'm not entirely sure how you do music, so yeah, I'll be up for that as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, there's a function in Roll20 which makes things so simple where you just link music to each slide, and you can actually also link playlists that play in different ways so that it's a great system. I mean, Roll20 is amazing. Um, One thing though is that Google Hangouts keeps updating and changing and breaking compatibility, and so honestly, I think sooner or later we're probably going to have to start using just Roll20 natively. Um, I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but I, I've been just kind of looking at the character sheets. My only issue is that the character sheets that are native to Roll20 can be a little bit complex, but maybe that's just me and me not being that familiar with them. So we'll see.
Um, so you're saying there's a way to just play through Roll20, like they
Oh yeah,
have
with voice and everything.
everything that we do here that does over there?
Yeah, yeah. It's just that it's not as simple, and part of the reason that I didn't want to do it before is that because we have so many guests, it's a lot of setup for guests to worry about. Whereas with us, we just go right in and everything's fine. So yeah. All right.
Do we
So
want to
good.
mention any limits? Not limits, guidance on force sensitive characters? Like if someone came in and wanted to play a dark side character or anything like that, or a dark leaning?
Oh, that is an excellent point. So yeah, when it comes to wanting to play specifically a dark side character, that's something that I don't really want to do only because we pretty much already had that story arc with Saber Sintel, Brandon's character, and I think it would be just retreading old ground when we've done that. So I would suggest not really going into that. I mean, it's one thing if mechanically you start slipping back just because of what's going on in the story, but in terms of just wanting to start out as a dark side character, I don't think that's in our campaign. Maybe in another campaign, it would be interesting story wise, but not for us because we've already had that. Uh, Another limit is, and we've talked about this before, but right now, force rating 6 is pretty much, well, yeah, it is the hard limit for now. Partly for balance and partly just for story reasons. I don't want people to go over that. And another thing, too, is that I really hope that people can show a little bit of self restraint in terms of don't just race through trees to get the highest force rating that you can or the most powerful abilities and things like that, because part of the beauty of the system is that we can have people with wildly different XP ranges, but that will break down if people really try hard to meta their characters. So I really want to see a lot of RP, and I love when people make those RP choices that aren't always the most effective, but are still really good RP. And I'm not saying that you guys have to take setbacks on missions or things like that all the time, or that's not what I'm talking about. It's more just the I hope that for most people, the goal isn't just to get the most powerful character, that the goal is actually to have an interesting character that, as you play and see how your character fits into the group, that it's more about the overall story that we are telling together. Any other thoughts about force sensitivity? All right, cool. Thanks for taking notes, by the way, James. All right,
There,
so,
there
oh,
is
yeah.
one thing, circling back to using Roll20.
Uh-huh.
There's not really a free roller inside of Roll20, right?
Oh, there is, but it's weird.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll roll through the
it's
sheets themselves.
yeah, the
yeah,
actual
So it's
sheets
it's
do
all
it.
connected there. Okay.
Yeah, but the problem with the sheets is that, and I've been looking through it, there are so many little bugs that happen for people, and I see so many complaints about people when they use the sheets that it's really made me step back and think, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to deal with all of that. But we'll see. Once again, it's partly just because we've done this for so long
Hmm.
that, maybe I'm just being too conservative and not wanting to change,
Yeah,
but
I've been using Just Roll 20 for my Sunday game for a while now.
uh-huh,
It's definitely more complex to get into,
right.
but there are ways that it is a lot more convenient too. It just really depends. It does take a lot more setup.
Yeah,
Well, the way
so, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's the way I see it is this is all speculation in case Hangouts gets too incompatible. I don't think it's something we should have to worry about too much because
Oh,
Roll 20 is
well, the problem is
also
that
updating, isn't it?
we've had, well, we're using a system that's no longer supported, so they could remove it at any time. We've already had several cases where in the past they'd made an update and we couldn't play the game. For when was that, guys? Do you remember? We had to do something crazy because the roller was no longer compatible and it was just, it was a
Well,
mess.
we also had roller incompatible. I think when they first went to new Hangouts, which was probably a little over a year ago, it took us a little bit to find the like revert to classic or whatever. And
Right.
yeah, obviously the new one did not work whatsoever with the apps.
Yeah. So the point that I'm making though is that Classic is actually no longer being supported. So there's no guarantee that they'll actually keep it around. So, I want to make sure
I
that we're
say
ready.
planning for the inevitable, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I've used it a few times and trying to find the results um, on the chat side. It is so confusing, I tell you.
Yeah.
I've been scrolling up and down to see where where the role is.
Yeah, it can be a little bit different, but yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I mean, we'll figure it out if it happens, but just something I wanted to keep in the back of my mind that in case it does happen. So I wanted to jump over to prospective members, and so actually I do realize I'm missing someone because, well, Mason, I'm just assuming, do you want to be a member?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
think that
Well,
I,
also too though, the one benefit of not being a member now with the new rules is that you can play Force Sensitive as a guest and you don't have to GM if you don't want to.
and see, that was my question that I was going to ask you was like, because I have sessions that I've written for my other group
Oh,
ready to
okay.
go.
Yeah, so guests can't GM, so if you want to GM, then you would have to be a member.
Uh, you know, uh, it's up to you. If you want to put me as a member, that's fine. I
Well, no,
can't
it's up to
promise.
you. I mean, that it's really up to
Yeah,
you.
I,
So, yeah.
uh, yeah. Go ahead and put my name on it.
Yeah, because being a member requires just a little bit of commitment. It's not just something we can force on you.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, but a little bit more.
Yeah, and you also need to be committed as well.
You'll be a member and you'll like it, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, well. No, but I
So,
mean, like, the whole reason I didn't play for like that chunk while Nick is gone was because I thought that I had to get an invite from someone else to come play the game. I didn't realize that there was Reddit threads and things like that.
well, but also too in all of our event threads, it always says we reserve, for guests. Anyone can come.
Yeah. Uh, you know,
I guess that's on
yeah,
Nick for not telling you. Uh-oh.
yeah. No, he just left, and I was like, well, I still want to play.
Yeah, I mean, we're all approachable. So, any questions, you can always just put it on Reddit or, in the event page.
Yeah.
So, basic requirements for a main member, I want to talk about a little bit. So, sometimes people leave, and I mean, that's totally fine. I think that for me, it's just that if you know that you're going to be gone for a really long time, just let people know. And because it can, especially with the campaign that we've had where we've been around for quite a long time, we have newer members who are really dedicated and are playing, every single game. And then if someone else, comes in, they can be blocked out by someone who is returning after a hiatus that hasn't been around for a really long time. And this isn't any specific person, I mean, it happens all across the board. So I think that just as a courtesy, just let people know if you're going to be gone for a really long time. And, we should be golden. And I don't really have a problem with people leaving. I mean, the whole point of this campaign is that you get out of it what you put in. So if you're able to play, you're able to play. If you're not able to play, that's fine too. So, if you just know that you're going to be gone for a super long time, just let people know. Um, so what I do have an issue with, and issue makes it sound really bad, but it's more about no shows without notice. And so that can cause some problems because a lot of times for the GMs, we have to plan certain things around party makeup. Not all the time. And of course, we always change things, you know, on the fly in missions. But for any of you who have actually GM'd, you'll know that to really make things more poignant for the party, a lot of times you need to sit down and think about what the party makeup is like. And unlike other campaigns that have the luxury of just knowing exactly who's going to be there every week, we don't. I mean, party composition between sessions is wildly different, and you can see how differently things can be, especially like yesterday's mission. I mean, 2 sessions, wildly different. So, with that, if you don't show up without any notice, you know that that's not cool. So I think that we need to figure out something to do about that. And um, whoever put in auto waitlisted for the next game, I think that that's actually uh, a fair consequence of that.
Hey, Tommy, I have a question real quick.
Uh-huh.
So there's been a couple of times where I've I show up in the morning and I say, okay, if there's a wait list or something like that, I'm gonna let somebody else take my spot because I've got morning sickness or the baby's being ridiculous or something like that. Is that acceptable or?
Well, yeah, but that's notice, so you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
Very,
simply,
very short notice.
yeah, it's there, but there have been multiple times where people just don't show up, and
Okay.
and not even that, but there's not even an explanation later. I mean, even that would be better if someone's like, oh, hey, you know, um, flat tire or something. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, no,
just
I just want to make sure that particular issue wasn't an issue, that's okay with you guys. But
absolutely. I mean, just as long as
sometimes,
you let people know what's going on, that's fine.
okay, thank you.
I think what Tommy's more concerned about is just when we hit the start time and we're like sitting there waiting 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes for someone to show up and they just don't with no explanation.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So I'm the person that wrote the auto wait listed for the next mission.
Mhm.
I just thought that I thought it was a proportional response because we're reserving something for you, and then if you don't show up, then we can't make that reservation next time. You'll have to wait another session before you'll have to wait on the wait list a session before.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I like that. That's good. Okay. Um,
So
so
is that, just for my notes, that is the new policy? If you no show, it's auto wait list?
yeah.
Sorry, one logistics question about that. Would that auto wait list be for the next person for the next session that person signs up for, or would it be for the next week?
The next session they sign up for. I mean, if it's just the next session and they don't show up for 3 weeks, then that's not a consequence. So
What about now? I just want to know where the leniency comes in. You say now, do they have to give their excuse for not showing up before, or is it like something terrible happens and they get back to you later and explain why?
we can play it by ear, but there's definitely a difference between it's just common courtesy. So
Okay, so it'd be more like the difference between just blowing us off and like someone died or something.
And the thing too is that I want this to be fun, so it's not like where were you? It's not like that. It's just hey, we're holding a spot for you. We're holding some time, and we're all friends here. So just be a friend. Let people know what's up. That's all.
It was like when what was it? Kyle was running really, really late, and he didn't say anything, and you said, "We got space here," so I jump in, and then 2 seconds later, in comes Kyle, and I had to go. So payback wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah, and the thing too is that I want to make sure that it's not just I don't want to pick on any specific person. I was late for a chill session one time, so and my excuse was, oh crap, I got the times mixed up. So but I think that as long as we just keep common courtesy in mind, we'll be fine. So uh, I think that's pretty much it for that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is a possible midweek series starting from SotB one because we've got a lot of new people and we also have people that joined up quite a bit later. And I think for them it would be really good for just to go through some of the foundation of SotB and see what it was like in the early years. The only problem though is I would really want it to be sequential, but we don't have a lot of write-ups. At the same time, you know what? I'm not going to make a big deal about the write-ups anymore. I get it. They're tough to do. It's a lot of time, and even I stopped doing write-ups pretty much. They are a really huge time investment. I will say this though, just remember if you do a write-up, anytime someone runs your mission in a midweek, you get like royalties. So you do get XP for people running your write-ups later on. Um, but in terms of the SotB series, I'm not sure when that would start, but anyone who wants to, get into the rotation for their force sensitive character, that's a way to do it. Just play a midweek and just look back and see which midweek was done before, and then find the next one in line that has a write-up. Any
I
questions?
think that
Oh,
I think I'm just going to. I think that's a really good idea too, with the basically allowing a whole new flood of characters coming in. Maybe if you even wanted to throw it in story wise, it could just be new agents, new whatever, going through like training sessions of old missions.
well, yeah, that's the whole
Because
point. Because we have
because
Bastion, that's what they do. Is
yeah, because like this is there's gonna be. But I'm saying like it's different than just having like one or two people who haven't run it before going through it. Because this is like, okay, guys, we're gonna have like organized training sessions or whatever for like the new force sensitive people that are coming in essentially if they want to be brokers agents.
hmm yeah. All right. If there's nothing else on that, so Halloween mission. I do have an idea for it, but if anyone has an idea that they really want to run with, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Maybe we can merge our ideas. We'll see. But that's pretty much it for that one. Just keep me in the loop if you want to do one, and let me know. Mentor bonus. So this one I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, so I had added this, given that I had actually added this before the whole Force and Destiny part was announced, so it's kind of worked out well that we now have this like hidden temple in the ship. But the gist of that was like, let's just for example, like Nardell did not start with Force C,
Uh-huh.
but has since learned Force C, and to some degree, I think it makes sense that if someone like Saber, who is phenomenal at Force C, were around, or at least very capable, if not phenomenal,
Mhm.
there would be some streamlining to learning a power,
Yeah,
and
so yeah, I'm
that is
definitely
already a
open to that.
built-in. That already is a built-in like mechanic
Right.
where
So I am open to that, but at the same time, I want to make sure that it's one of those things where, and I can see where you put that thing below. I like that. I think it needs to be a character that honestly should be technically a master that's doing it. So someone with the mastery for the power can then become an official mentor that can get that mentor bonus.
So that was me. The only issue with that, I think, is that some power. I think there are some powers that don't have mastery abilities.
Okay,
yeah, a lot of
so
the
let's
early
say this
stuff.
then. If the power has a mastery, then they need to be a master of that power. If the power itself does not have a mastery, they need to have one talent or one. I forget what it's called. The inside force powers. What are the things actually called?
I
They're
think
not
their abilities.
abilities. Yeah, they need to have an ability on the final tier.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That kind of works, but there are some powers that's way too easy for in a certain sense. I don't know if you, because like I just went to the bottom of like 4C because there's one whole side to that that's just 5 XP all the way down. You can get to the bottom of that with like 20 or 25 XP.
But did you do that to rush to the bottom, or did you do that? Or I mean, this rule.
Well, okay, the side of it is just like you can. It's the strength where you can get like increased details or see farther into the future or something. And I figured, all right, I can just take those because they're cheap. Because I wanted to get his that tree of his filled out a little more because that's kind of supposed to be his thing, given his background story. But I didn't really have enough to start with.
I think that's okay because you're doing it for your character, because of your character's background story. You're doing it so that your character can.
Well, I think I'm more concerned with like, does that now make him a master who can teach 4C to people? Because, like, I don't think that should be the case, but I don't actually know if it has a mastery ability. I should probably look at that.
It doesn't. So,
I mean, why don't we back up and just say we can just talk about, well, I think this character should be able to teach this, and we can just designate it that way, and then as things move forward, we can designate other people if they move forward in a tree.
okay.
Like, for instance, like Saber probably should have bind and move, definitely, as things that he can teach.
Mhm.
So I guess protect as well. But
Yeah,
So-
so maybe we can talk about it more in terms of RP wise. I mean, does this character seem like a character who could really not only teach mechanically, but also has the temperament to be a mentor? Do you know what I mean? Because you could have
Okay.
someone who's a master, but I don't think anyone wants to learn from Last Sunset. So,
Okay.
pretty powerful harm, though. Yeah.
Could
So
this?
the final decision here is case by case basis.
yeah, like case by case, and just our RP should inform the decision too.
Yeah, and I mean, we can chat about it in the regular chat, whether we can decide, like, well, my character wants to learn move. Can I say that Saber is mentoring him? And then we just
Because
have
I
to
mean, I
decide.
think that also too there may be cases where the individual characters are like, I don't really want to teach this other character. This character's not ready, or like for instance, what if Tristev all of a sudden became a PC? I think a lot of the people who could teach him certain things would want to see how he does first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think you should just assume someone's going to teach. That also kind of brings me up another question. Are some of the new learners, are they going to have like dedicated teachers, or are we going to have like more of a college type thing where everybody just goes around learning different things from different teachers?
Well, I think that's one of those things where it's up to you guys how the RP pans out as we move forward in Force and Destiny.
It's the Broker's School for Specialized Children.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, as it's too early to say how that's going to be, because I think that as we go through missions, you'll see certain characters bond with other characters more than others, or certain characters that just you know have tension with other characters because maybe Saber. I don't think Saber would get along with Tristev. Well, I'm assuming some things, but
Yeah, at the very least, because the other side of protect is unleash, I think Saber would be hesitant to teach a lot of people that ability. So.
yeah, exactly. So
is that another thing that's coming up? Like you can't learn a power unless it's taught to you either?
in some cases, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where not all powers, especially in this day and age, are going to be. It's going to be tough for people to learn on their own, and
I think
case by
I think we
case.
can I think we can specifically point out heal harm, wards foresight,
Yeah.
and maybe protect unleash. Like those three, we can
Well,
have the conversation on.
Yeah.
okay. I was just concerned about that because with Protect Unleash specifically, like that was a thing that I was really hoping to achieve because like I'm trying to make my character to be essentially like a support buffer type, so I was thinking like 4C is where he would start, maybe moving over to battle meditation if someone's going to teach him that. I don't know if you guys are going to put that down under rare power lists, and then maybe try to learn protect as well. I was looking to like really be like a buffer style type thing, and I was just wondering if like protect unleash is now going to get put on like the blacklist essentially.
Well, I think also too, you said yourself that it's something that's in the future, and we kind of need to see how the characters actually how they are in actual play. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. It might be a little bit before I actually get to force rating 3 anyway.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah,
Well, I mean,
think,
I already have force rating 2, and I think my tree has another force rating in it somewhere.
mhm.
And I could go for it, but right now I'm going to try to flesh out some of his skills and powers first before I start going into the tree. So that's why I say it might take a bit.
Right. So I think it's just one of those things where we'll see how it goes, because a lot of things are going to depend on RP. And actually, this segues into another thing that I probably didn't put on the agenda, but I did want to remind people, is that when it comes to gear from here on out, anything that is Force related, anything that is Jedi related, anything like that is we pretty much you should pretty much assume that you'll need to quest for it, and that these things are not going to be readily available on even on the black market, because Darth Vader is on the move. He is looking for Luke. He is looking for any Force sensitives. I mean, it's so much more dangerous now after the Battle of Hoth that that sort of thing simply can't happen. So anyway, that's kind of the like business end of things. But on the other end of things is just in terms of storytelling. And some of you already heard this, but I will just reiterate this. One of the things that I feel like SotB dropped the ball, but it's not a bad thing. It's just that we started very differently. We were in Edge of the Empire campaign, then into Age of Rebellion. So I didn't really put a lot of thought into the Force sensitive aspect of things. Just in terms of a lot of people being Force sensitive, that wasn't something that we had to worry about. However, looking at other campaigns, one of the things that I really enjoyed reading was just how some of these campaigns really made it so that the journey was so important for the characters to find their first lightsaber crystal, to find or to create their own lightsaber. And these were like major milestones for these characters, whereas in SotB it's like, well, you just buy it and you're done. So I really want to shift gears and do that now that we're actually in Force and Destiny, so that this new crop of Force sensitive characters get to have that moment, and they get to have that journey of navigating through
Discovery.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a very different focus now that we're in Force and Destiny in terms of item requisition or acquisition.
Well, the only thing I wanted to bring up about that is, like, I personally love the idea of us going on our own little quest to pick up lightsaber crystals. I want to do that. It's a thing for me. But logistically, I don't know if, like, can we each have, like, are we going to have, like, an individual story? Or are we all just going to, like, pile up into the space bus and go on a field trip like Yoda did with, like, all the younglings in that one episode of Clone Wars? And
I can't tell you that. It's going to be in the mission, so...
okay.
I would guess a mix of both. Some adventures may have, I would guess, multiple people on, like, that kind of Yoda type thing, and I would guess on others there would be opportunities for an individual to acquire one in the context of a larger mission.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So I guess the thing I should bring up is I guess I'm still okay with us going on, like, the field trip for all, like, I don't know, the basic Ilum crystal or something as a starter thing, because it's kind of just traditional. But what about if we wanted to go out of our way to get, like, our own special crystal, like, if we ever come up with one? Like, I can't expect an entire group to get together for, like, a weekly session just to go and get, like, a crystal for someone, or expect someone to just sort of write it in there, because that's kind of cheesy too. So how would we handle something like that off screen? Because I'm assuming it's how it would have to be.
I think with the shift in focus, you should, or I think DMs will be more likely to write those sorts of opportunities into adventures.
Exactly.
That's
And
awesome.
I think you'll just need to keep your eyes peeled, I guess.
If I could just, I'd like to say that that's something that I really like doing in terms of GMing. So, if people have certain missions or character backstories they want to expand or anything like that, please feel free to pitch me because I prefer to run those kinds of stories. And obviously, the other broker agents would join in to like help you out. But that's the kind of stuff I prefer doing instead of the big grandiose missions that like Tommy and all them are good at. So that's something that I'd like to volunteer for.
Hey, I do simple missions too sometimes. Like
Yes, I know.
Ronto, like Ronto Pronto.
But Tommy, you're definitely well known for the big what the fuck moments. Well, I might have to talk to you then, JB.
I think in general at the moment, don't think about like acquiring stuff for your character because your character's very new. I think right now, focus more on like endearing people to your character, I guess, and just building them because we want you to get stuff, and at the moment, no one really knows who your character is, so like focus on that.
Well,
I
got that. That's not hard. Like I'm already
Also-
in that mode, but I'm trying to think of the future here. Is what I'm.
Okay. Also, as a note, like characters who are coming over from Shadows of the Veil, everything that your character has known and believed and like just accepted as true has all radically shifted. So what you can get is a lot of great story points and character development of how your character just adjusts to everything now. Like there are droids everywhere, rather than like on Kylia 4, where they were like very rare and seen as abominations. Now they're just kind of everywhere, and people don't even really acknowledge them as being there. As well as you're now going to see alien races that you could never, your character could never have imagined ever existing, and with technology so advanced that it's effectively like magic to them. So there's a lot more to your character than just acquiring stuff right now. It's becoming now accustomed to the greater galaxy as a whole and the people in it.
Yeah, I want to circle back to something that, well, what Ben said as well. That's really important. Like, I think that in terms of the relative importance of acquiring gear versus interacting with your fellow agents and making connections with them, that's more important. You know, I mean, that's where the story really springs to life because, you know, I've written entire missions due to interactions between characters, and you know that's how things really get going with SotB. So, you know, when you're talking about the field trip to get stuff, you know, it shouldn't be so much about those crystals, but like what you're doing and interacting with your fellow students or, you know, Padawans.
Oh, I don't want to make everyone sit here and think that I'm only worried about acquiring gear and XP and playing Munchkin style or whatever. I've had this character in the works for about a year, and I've been planning RP for just all kinds of different people for about a year. I am so stoked about this character. And like RP for me is something that I've been thinking about for a year. I just have never really had the chance to address, you know, the mechanical aspects of this character because I haven't really had a need or a reason to talk about it until now. So I'm just trying to get my answers for that portion out of the way. I'm going to roleplay as soon as my character is freed up to. I will absolutely love that. It's another reason I'm excited about this character because R2, he roleplays some, but he doesn't roleplay as much, in my opinion. That's not his style.
Yeah, my big thought here is like it's been a session. Let's just let it go for a bit and see what happens. And I think Dee had something she wanted to say too.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, I was actually wanted to go back a bit to the talent trees. What I was thinking of, because the master idea would actually work for this as well. Those who want to learn pilot or, I don't know, gunslinging or something like that, that would work as well.
Well, except there's no mechanic for that. There is a mechanic for the mentor bonus.
Yeah, so that's all just taken care of by RP. So yeah, we're talking about the actual mechanic behind it and letting that actually happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
there is a mentor bonus that's already built in to the system.
similar to that, though, one of the other restrictions that we'd already had was the 3 ranks and lightsaber restriction. What's happening with that?
Oh, you know what? Actually, so let's talk about that because I'm definitely open to increasing that. I kind of, for story reasons, I don't want anyone to have max rank in lightsaber now, but I'm fine with everyone getting up to 4. But
I would say Saber could be the tutor for the 4th level after yesterday because that was some kind of schooling he put down.
you mean Gristle, right?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so I would say,
But I
yeah,
meant
I like that. So let's say
all
this
right.
Gristle, especially with yesterday, yeah, you've opened up level 4, but there's story stuff that I like to for you guys to wait on for level 5. Because I mean, I'm always planning stuff. So
And then we also have, and I think this is very reasonable to remain, but just to remind people, a limit on picking up lightsaber techniques, right? You have to have, like, you couldn't take Makashi without a Makashi person around. Was that something we'd been
yeah,
doing?
so that was kind of just a soft limit because people weren't being too crazy about that. But yeah, I really want people to that yeah, that should be a consideration that you don't just come up with this style all on your own. So, and it's not just other players, as long as you had,
Yeah.
NPCs that could teach it. And that was actually one of the reasons why Shorn was so dangerous for a while because he was starting to go through the ranks of our NPCs and killing them. So,
Right, I was gonna say we don't really have any NPCs left to teach force skills at this point.
Yeah, that's true. But something Tommy and I have talked about are the holocrons we've gathered. So we're thinking that like Ward's holocron actually knew the cunning based one, so that would open that one up.
right.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. We would want to add a dossier tab for that kind of stuff, then, just to track what is
Yeah,
open and what
that's a
does
good point.
what.
And Tommy, I do have a question with regards to most dangerous game. What happened to the holocron that was found on Kylie of 4 that we all had?
The
Is
Heralds
that
still have it.
the Herald still have it?
The
Okay.
Heralds still have that, and also you guys never saw Vero the Seeker. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
coming up later.
Okay.
Oh, Vera was with us on the spaceship. Okay.
Yeah,
He was.
yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess we never thought about that. He was with us the entire time. Yeah.
Yep. That little worm still owes me his life.
Yeah.
Not letting him weasel
Okay.
out of that.
So I think that that is pretty much resolved. Let's talk about contribution rank. So for contribution rank, I would say because of this one, we actually get bumped back a little bit because you guys don't have Jokin's bonus. But I also feel that, especially after you guys got such a big acquisition as a group with the Eclipse, this would be a good contribution rank for individual contribution. So you can go through it's I forget the page, but it's in Age of Rebellion and there's a whole chart and things that you can get with your contribution rank and just go through the list, you know, let me know and we can talk about it. But for by and large, whatever is on the list for the contribution rank that your character has, I'll say yes to.
The base guideline, though, is a item 3 rarity higher than your rank, right?
I forget, but something like that, yeah.
And then also remember that, yeah, if you don't have any duty points, you don't get the bonus, right? I guess we don't. Maybe there was a while when we first switched over that people were foregoing duty because
Oh, well, the difference is for this one, since it's not the party wide one, it's their own contribution rank. So
right,
everyone
but there were
has a
some
different.
people who were just not taking duty. Period. Even if there was you earned 5 duty each, they would say, I'm not taking it." Like Macron was doing that for a while, for example.
Oh,
Therefore,
you
he did
mean
not
the
enjoy
next
it.
bump up once we go through? I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean if you haven't if you haven't gained any duty, then yeah, it wouldn't make any sense for your contribution rank to go up.
Right. I'm just reminding people of
Yeah,
that so they don't.
that's a good point. Thank you. Okay, and on that note, I think that we've gotten through everything, right? Yeah, I think so. Any last thoughts before we go into our customary trivia game?
So I'm always a little hazy with duty. So because R2 has like 20 duty, and I have a note in there that he has one contribution rank, or is there we all share the contribution rank, or
Everyone
how
has
is that?
individual, but when it's a big group one, we've always let people just the group take the highest contribution. But for this, you guys are actually getting individual ones, so you would just use your contribution rank.
So does my contribution rank going up,
Well, yeah,
and
you
then
have.
with the
I mean,
duties
you've
resetting?
got duty, so duty's wiped, and then your contribution rate goes up.
Okay, that's all I
In
wanted
other
to know.
words, if
'Cause
there's
you're
no
gonna
duty to actually wipe, then you don't get any contribution raised.
Okay, and then if I go and get one of these perks or whatever for the contribution rank, does the rank get wiped?
Well, no, the contribution rank always stays. It keeps going up.
Okay, thank you.
It's like a representation of your esteem. So like at contribution rank 2, you're like, you're the very lowest levels of being known to the rebellion. If Jokin was still here, he'd be at 6, which would put him actually at captain. He was kind of fast tracked briefly, so he became captain or commander a little early. There's a table that kind of outlines. I think it's right before page 50, probably page 49. That kind of outlines what each contribution rank means, kind of with regards to the standing and reputation within the rebellion.
Right. Actually, with the contribution rank, just honestly, just check Age of Rebellion. It's actually it's
Starts
a
at
really
page
good read.
49.
So I would go through that.
Tommy,
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll do that.
we haven't done any of the business regarding new members.
Oh, I thought. Whoops. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we just sort of addressed Mason and then moved on.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that's all we do right now.
Yeah, so that's the thing because we'll actually be voting. So I just wanted to make sure that we had all the names, and then we'll actually. I have to do interviews with each person individually, and then I'll set up a voting on Google Forms.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. On that note, we're going to go into our trivia game. So we've actually we missed a chill session because I just did not have time during the summer. But so instead of usually I do 2 questions per mission, it's just going to be 1 per because we've got so many missions. But it's whoever is first that I can see on my screen. And is everyone ready? You're actually on the right,
I'll get someone to
screen.
keep score. I don't know who's going to do it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You know what? Actually, yeah.
I can keep score since I probably won't be answering most of these questions. Since,
all right.
I
Thanks,
don't.
George. All right. So this was the first mission since the last chill session. In SotB 98, Siren's Call. Which dangerous Imperial world were the agents forced to infiltrate while searching for Phi Mei and her Force-sensitive son? Yes, Coruscant. Good one, James. So, in Phantoms in the Dark, name the species most affected by the incursion of the Imperial stealth fighters. Yes, and that would be Gristle. Good job. In Haggler's Pawn, name the antiques dealer who provided the agents with the lead on Gristle's holocron, as well as the rebel leader she is related to. Now, this is kind of a
What's
tough
her
one.
name?
She's been around for a while, though, guys. She was the one who found
yeah.
Bastion.
God damn, I know it too. I'll
Actually,
know
at
it the
this
instant
point,
you say
if you
it.
guys can just get the last name that they share, that'll count too. No. I'll give you another clue. It's the guy who's the acting commander for Onderon Base,
Oh.
Whisper Base.
Yeah. I don't remember the first name.
Kithstra,
Haskett.
yeah.
Haskett is the first name.
Haskett, yeah, Haskett Kithstra is his cousin. She is the antiques dealer. She's been around. She's not a major NPC, but she's been around for quite some time. She found Bastion. She pointed you guys in the direction of Ward's Holocron. So yes, good job, Ben. Next up is in SotB 100, Chronicles of the Gatekeeper 1, Ward's Legacy. Name the planet that Jedi Knight Siljo Ward left his holocron's first Kyber crystal on, as well as the world's avian indigenous species. Yes, Ben got it. So Arborween and the Sithari. Good job, Ben. In SotB 101, name the force-hating bounty hunter who finally met his end, as well as his killer. Oh yeah, it looks like James actually got it with getting both in there first. So good job, James. In SotB 102, name the two Inquisitors who came in search of Siljo Ward. We need names, but if no one else can get more than that, then you guys will get it.
Yeah, I don't remember their names.
It looks like no one's going to get this one. That's fine. Yeah, so we'll give it to Kale and Katie, but I'll put them in. It's Emily and the Swarm Caller. And they will be showing up again, maybe. Who knows? So, in SotB 103, The Deep Dark, name the Jedi Knight who the agents believed had escaped to Nar Shaddaa, as well as the woman they actually found. Yeah. Yes, Brandon gets it. See, this is the benefit of GMing, because you can answer your own. So, all right. In SotB 104, may the fourth be with you too. Fortune favors the bold. Name the bounty hunter who aided the party. Full name, actually. We'll need the full name for this one. If no one can get the full name, then Kale and Katie will get it. No. Well, sister and the niece. All right, so Kale and Katie get this one, but it's Dalen's sister, Delestine. All right, so and she's still out there, and she's not as crazy as her brother. So yeah. Yep. Twin sister, in fact. Yeah.
Family that kills together stays together.
Right. All right. In SotB 105, Spring Cleaning. Give the name and species of Wayright's vigilante hero, the Night Watchman. Oh, close. If no one else can get closer, then Kale gets it. Margot
I could
Davin's
guess.
boyfriend. Another clue.
I don't want to do my own.
Okay. All right, close enough. Kale gets it. So it's Ivakai and Castar is his name. All right, so in SotB 106, The Prodigal Child, on which planet did the agents visit a lavish party hosted by Macron Duval's family? maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called though.
I'll give you a clue. It's got a very Roman sounding name. No, not quite. Looks like no one's going to get this one. Tiberian 5.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. In SotB 107 Battle Royale, what creature aided a twisted saber in this upgraded Bastion VR session? It's actually, we need the name. Yeah, Singe. Actually, you know what? I'll give a point to both Jeff and Ben for that one. So I could have been more specific with the question. All right. In SotB 108, Ronto Pronto. This one has a couple of things in the question, so definitely listen to the full question. All right. So name the ranch, ranchers, and the reclusive clan of Jawas who helped the agents negotiate a favorable trade deal for Speedy Rontos. And whoever can get the most out of those will get it. That was the name of one of the Rontos. Yep, Jeff Scott. All right. If anyone can do more than Jeff, but it looks like. All right, yep. Jeff gets it. So it's the Rolling Fog Ranch, Zach and Zandra, and the Red Rock Clan.
The only reason I remember them is because I named them.
Oh. All right. So in SotB
That's a
1.
fix.
Oh, what was that?
That's a fix if he's named him, he can't answer it.
All right. In SotB 109, Murky Hollows, which domestic animal did the mysterious fish aliens dislike and fear? Yes, cats. Good one, James. He beat the creator of the mission. All right. SotB 110, Relics of the Old Order. Which long lost planet did the agent visit during the investigation of the weapons Lightsbane and Darkwell? Ossis is correct. Good job, James. SotB 111, Unscripted 3, Inheritance, Madness Unleashed. Whose family left behind a message and a lightsaber? Dara is correct. Yes, James. SotB 111, SotB 112, Phantom Shadows. Name the young Wookiee who was at the heart of all the mysterious sightings around Wayrite. Oh, Thomas, yeah. Oh, good job. Good job, David. All right. SotB 113, Siren's Fall. Name the mercenary group who aided the agents in retrieving Fi's son. Not a bad guess, but that isn't. Yes, yep, Soldiers Without Worlds. All right, so SotB 114, Murder on the Onderon Express. Name the Imperial detective who did her best to uncover the agent's scheme, as well as the infamous mercenaries on her payroll. No. If you guys can get the second part, then you'll get it. Nope. Yeah. Ben got it. Inspector Crystal and Heralds of the Scorekeeper. Those guys are all over the place. So in SotB 115, Shell Game, name the Rebel. So this will be actually two. So name both the Rebel base and the Imperial Orbital Factory featured in this mission. If you can only get one, that's fine. Not quite, but if no one else can get it, then that'll be close enough. All right, it looks like David's got it. So Hammer Station is actually a different facility, but this one's called the Hammer. Close enough. And then the Rebel base is Titan base. All right, and SotB 116, unscripted, under the big top. This will be another one with a lot of questions. The most that you can get out of it will get you the point. Name the hut, his clan, and the traveling circus he has the agents visit. All right, anyone who can get more than that?
I know it, but I had to cheat on the last one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Ben gets it. Minilad, Klein Vermelick, Galactic Get Low show, and I need to watch that one. I heard really good things about it.
That's the one where Rock took Heartseeker and decapitated a Rancor.
Wow. All
But
right,
he didn't do it alone.
SotB 117 Rebel Breakout. What vital information did Agent Tyree stumble upon while undercover on Lothal?
I cannot spell fast.
Yeah, I'll still give it to David for Jedi, a list of Jedi. Later, Mason. So in SotB 118 Liberation Part 1 Lay of the Land, name the planet the rebels plan to liberate. Yes, Traxxas is correct. 119 Liberation Part 2 Tip of the Spear. What were the two local factions on Traxxas the agents allied with? Yes, Swoopers and Farmers. SotB 120, we're getting to the end here. Liberation Part 3 Weight of the World. Name the agent who sacrificed himself by preventing a transport reactor from exploding. Nog Nubo. May he rest in peace. SotB 121 Nahat a Problem. Name Nahat's illustrious family. Hako is correct. David gets it. In SotB 122 Echoes of Fate, aka the Battle of Hoth, name at least 3 of the 4 rebel officials who demanded that Leia leave the search for Luke to others. Or in this case, just name as many as you can. Whoever can name most of them gets it. Ben's got it. So Mating, Riken, Renzi, and the 4th is Borsk Phalia, the Bothan who doesn't like you guys too much. All right, so final question.
Didn't I tie then with 3 each? Oh, but he was first. Never mind.
Yeah. So final question. SotB 123 Shadows of the Veil Part 1 The Most Dangerous Game. Name Aminet's new force spirit. Yeah, Gristle got it on my screen, so congratulations, Gristle. I've got a tiebreaker if we need it, but George, who is first place?
We need a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
Can we get a score update? I didn't realize anyone was close to Ben.
Ben and James are tied at 8.
Oh, wow. Okay. So get ready here, guys. Tiebreaker question. Name Eminie's pet as well as its species.
Oh God. I don't remember the name.
I don't remember the name either.
Okay, I'll give it to James since that's Yeah, you at least got one. So Emily's pet is relentless, and yes, it's a Hiroshima tiger.
I was just coming up with like patience or something. I you know.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name either.
All right, cool. So everyone who attended the chill session gets 10 XP, 3 XP for first place, 2 XP for second, and 1 XP for third place. We've got one more event, and this will be a little bit different.
Hold on. So third place, because I didn't actually say third place, is David.
Congrats,
Oh.
David.
I did not expect that. Okay,
Yeah,
would you
good
say
showing
third?
for.
I wasn't able to start playing until like the last half when I was actually in the missions.
Mhm.
That's where I came back in, but I came back halfway in like this whole thing. What's third place XP?
Just +1 to the.
Okay,
the
that's fine. And I can put that on Tillin if I want, right?
Any XP for the notes? Treat it like a mission report.
Oh yeah, you can get +1 XP for that. All right, so we're going to play Hintaro, and you can find the rules in the handout. And I'm actually going to stop the recording here for just a second, just to give everyone a chance to read the rules, and then we'll play a couple of rounds. All right, so we're going to start a round of Hintaro. So first up, everyone antes in. So let's just have just small, just 10 credits each. Who's all in? I guess I'll assume everybody who. Okay, so once that's set, everybody roll 2 blue die.
No one else? Why not?
Okay, so we're gonna go around the table. So Ben first, how much are you going to bet on that?
I don't know, like 10 more? Why not?
Yeah, sure, okay. And so next up is George. Are you going to meet that?
I'm gonna fold.
Really? Okay. All right. And then David.
Yeah, I'll call that.
Okay. So then you guys throw one more if you want. You don't have to. Okay. And then I roll mine. Let's see what happens. So it looks like
That's me, because I had double success, right? Because I rerolled my blank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben would win.
Yeah, you got third place. I think I got fourth place because I got 2 advantages. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
2 successes.
all right. So Ben gets it. So Ben gets
20 credits or
it's 50
actually-
actually.
50?
Tommy,
Uh-huh.
I think it's you have to match first, second, third, or fourth. So Ben is also so Ben is at third because he only has the 2 successes. That extra advantage doesn't count. And
I think that.
David,
I think. Yeah, I think that's what we came up to. I only have the 2. Like I only have.
Yeah,
like,
he only
2
has
advantages.
Kolro, which is behind
Yeah,
Ben. So Ben wins.
okay, so it's still the same thing, but
If I would have had another success, if I would have rolled success advantage, then I would have won.
Yeah, he would have had Takara Kolro. So, all right. So Ben wins 50 because it was the 30 anti-N and then the 10 from. So yeah, 50 credits. All right. Since you guys see how the game is played, do you guys want to do another round?
Yes, I like it. I mean, if anybody else will.
Oh, and by the way,
I-
Ben, so that's 100 for you because the broker matches.
All right.
All right, so let's put it up just a little bit. So Annie in at 20. And go ahead and put in your rolls. The first roll. All right, so placing wagers. We'll start with David.
I'll throw in a 30.
Okay. George, are you going to throw?
I'm gonna fold.
You never know, though. You could actually. Well, I guess yeah.
Well,
You can't
I
just
have
keep-
to match the 30,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I have to
Okay.
only reroll one die, so the chances are slim.
Yeah. Okay. And Ben, are you gonna match?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's at a 120 pot. Well, 240 with the broker, and here goes that.
Oh wait, we didn't roll
Oh,
yet.
that's right. Oh, okay. Don't ignore that roll then. That roll doesn't count. So you guys go ahead and roll your 1.
Reroll my blank. So that's what, 3 advantages and a success. Whoops.
All right. So
Oh, wait a minute. We decide to re-roll one of our active dice, is what it is?
Yeah, you reroll one of the 2 you rolled originally.
Okay, so then I could just hit 4th, I guess, is what I'm doing. Is all I'm doing.
Yeah, but you have to choose before you roll.
Okay, but now I know that. Sorry. If nothing else, I still lost.
all right, here goes.
And I think at the very least we tie. Yeah.
All right. So who wins that one? I think
We
it's
tie because the best either of us can do is 2 advantage.
okay. Well, you know, in a tie, the pot is split, so each of you get 120. So from the broker.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right. So
So who is this he's playing against? He's playing against Doc and Gristle?
I guess. Well, if we're going by the logic
Yeah,
that
Doc.
they're still on the ship, it would have to be Bunker, like trying to figure out what gambling is.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's great, the two
Roll
droids
these
gambling
things.
against a half robot.
Right. All right. So let's do one more round, and let's ante in at 30.
Okay.
All right. So that, and go ahead and do your initial rolls.
Blah.
All
Well,
right. And
Most I can do is 4th.
So, George, what do you want to bet on yours?
I'm gonna do another 20.
20. Okay. Ben, are you going to match that?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like everyone's going to match that. So
So that's another 50 out.
we're looking at a pot of 300 total, 150 with the broker's match. So pick the one that you're going to re-roll.
Gonna re-roll my blank one.
I'm going to re-roll the success one.
Okay. Oh, you put automatic successes in there.
Oh, yeah, I think he's just doing to record what he had.
Track of what I
God.
can-
Oh, that's a great way to do it. I like that. Okay. So here is mine.
I end up back with 2 advantage.
And for David, what's your final hand?
I believe it's just a success. Or no, I think it's just a advantage.
Oh, okay. Ben gets it again. So wow, bunker. 300 to
He
bunker.
doesn't understand.
I don't understand gambling.
And on that, we finish with a little game of Hintaro. I'm actually, I might put this into a mission itself at some point.
I really like it, and I think we should do it more often. Might give me more of a reason to actually care about playing Zeke once in a while.
Yeah.
How much?
Because
is that?
there's not really enough gambling in there to really like do anything more than narrate his addiction.
Yeah. And actually, well, my idea, I shouldn't give too many spoilers, but I do want to have like a massive game of Hintaro at some point when we do a 12-man mission.
I've
Yeah.
had it as a way to get into a new contact with a black market dealer or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Cool.
Does there happen to actually be a casino on Wayrite?
Yeah, actually, in the mission spring cleaning, I had Hintaro as a thing in there. If you guys went to the casino
Oh, cool.
back then,
Where is this Hintaro rules anyway?
Fly
it's in
casual.
the smuggler's sourcebook. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Also, since Bunker doesn't know what to do with money, he's going to give all the money to Duck because he realizes he's poor.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I like
have
that.
520 credits.
Yay!
gets
Thank you.
You know what?
Double
Actually,
command. So he doesn't.
take a karma point for bunker. That was great.
Okay.
And on that note, we've finished up our chill session, and I'll see you guys next week with Brandon's mission, the Dead Oasis.